For us, it's very, very important in our culture. Now, Spaniards are pretty direct and expressive. Unlike me, I think I'm a bit less outgoing, but in Spain, people generally are very outspoken, they use hand gestures a lot. I have my hands filled, so I cannot use them, but you would see me moving my hands everywhere if I was. So, don't be surprised if when you go to Spain, conversations are full of laughter and very, very loud discussions, because it's very, very natural. Now, there's this idea that we call vida tranquila, which means calm life. And it means that people enjoy slow meals, afternoon walks, and time with friends. This is very, very important. We always like to be in community. So we love to socialize, as I've said before. It's very normal to meet friends at a bar or a plaza and stay out chatting until late, especially in the summer. Now, for me, for example, every time I left university, not every day, but most days, Fridays, I would say to my friends, oye, vamos a tomarnos una caña, ¿no? Algo así. Which means that let's go have a beer, let's go drink something. And of course, it's not with the purpose of getting drunk or anything, it's just with the purpose of sharing moments with the people. Now, do you guys think that the Taiwanese culture is more formal or more relaxed than this? What do you think? Can someone tell me? How do you think Taiwan is different to Spain culture-wise? Can anyone say? Please, share your comments. No one? Alright. Well, I'll give my point of view. I think Taiwanese culture is, compared to other Asian cultures, it is kind of laid back. I'm sending the example of what I think the Japanese culture is because I'm not too familiar with Japan. I haven't been there yet, but from what I believe, I think Taiwan is a bit more laid back than the, for example, Japanese or maybe the Koreans. I'm not quite sure. In Spain, it's quite heavy. We're not that serious. We always like to. This is one thing I like to say. Spanish people work to live, and Taiwanese people live to work. You know, our personal time is very important. Now the next slide is very, very important to me. Food. Who doesn't like food? I think the Taiwanese, after being here for almost a year, I think the Taiwanese like eating quite a bit. I think it's a very special event for Taiwanese. Now, Spanish cuisine is incredibly rich and regional. Not many people know about it actually, but in my opinion, of course my biased opinion, I think Spanish food is the best food in the world. And I bet if you go to Spain, you're going to agree with me. I bet. But if you go to Spain, you have to text me. You have to contact me, and I'll suggest you places. So you might have heard of paella. Who heard about paella? Who knows about paella? Put your hand up. You know what paella? You guys don't know what paella? No? Alright, interesting. I'm surprised. So, paella, it's a famous rice dish, but each area has its own version of it. It's not always seafood, it's also rabbit, it's also chicken that you can put on it, and in some places they even put snails. Not good, I don't like that. Now, if there's something else that defines us as a country, is tapas. Now, small portions of food like garlic, shrimp, tortilla, which is a Spanish omelet, and or olives, is pretty much what you get with your beer. From where I'm from, my city is called Granada. Every time you order a drink, you also get a small dish of food next to it, because you're supposed to digest the drink. Yeah, tapas are meant for sharing. It's not just a thing that you get for yourself, it's a thing that you take and you eat with your people, with your friends, with your family, everyone. And they turn eating into a social event. Instead of sitting and eating quietly, people pass around. You're going to see that side in Spain of, there you go, this is for you, this is for me. And I find it quite flattering. As you can see in the screen here, if you're wondering what any of these images are, please put your hand up and ask me. I'm very happy to answer it. course, don't forget about jamón ibérico, which is, I think, probably what synonyms of Spain. It takes years to prepare. It's cured ham. It takes up to 4 years to prepare, and it really melts in your mouth. It's a fantastic flavor. I encourage you to taste it. Also, churros con chocolate, which is kind of like a fried dough with thick hot chocolate for dipping, is what people can eat both for breakfast, for night, or after you go out partying and you're a bit drunk and you need to settle down the drinks. That's what you have, churros con chocolate. So, lunch in Spain, when do you guys think lunch happens in Spain? What's the estimate time? Can you give me a time? Here I think lunch is at 12 in the morning, 1 p.m. maybe? When do you think it's in Spain? That's right, 2 to 3 p.m. That's usually when we eat. And of course, we're so laid back that we even take perfectly an hour to finish having dinner or lunch. And dinner is usually at 9 p.m. The reason why is because of the weather, of the climate, of the sun route, I guess. Now look at the photos on this slide. If you have any questions, please ask. Which one do you think looks the best out of these pictures? They are not pretty good. They're not too good, but they do the job. What do you think? That one? This one? Pulpo a la gallega, we call it. Pulpo a la gallega. It's fantastic. It's so tasty. Anyway, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to move on to festivals. So, there's some major festivals and music events I want to talk about. First, there's La Tomatina, where people throw tomatoes at each other in the streets. And it's messy, it's fun, and it's totally unique. It's quite literally people throwing tomatoes at each other. Just throwing at each other. It's interesting. Anyway. Then there's San Fermin in Pamplona, where people run with bulls. Well, I don't know if I would say with bulls, more from the bulls. Dangerous? Yeah. But is it exciting? Yeah. There's also more traditional and emotional festivals. During Semana Santa, which is a very, very Spanish tradition, really, really pure Spanish. Semana Santa, or Holy Week, big processions move slowly through the streets with religious statues, music, candles, and it's very powerful. Maybe when I finish the presentation, I'm going to show you a video or some images. Actually, right now. Yeah, here we see some images in my hometown. This is Semana Santa. It's a very, very religious event. Here we see the cathedral of my city. It's beautiful. There's many, actually I'm going to talk about it later, but in my hometown and a town next to it, many of the spaghetti westerns were filmed. There was an Indiana Jones movie, I believe, that recorded the Guadix station, which is the other town I was talking about, which we will see later on. So, can you go back? All right. And finally, as for music, Spain gave us flamenco. I'm sure some of you have heard about flamenco, no? A deep, emotional mix of guitar, singing, dancing. Watching a flamenco show is unforgettable. You even can see flamenco on the street, on the miradors. And it's just not art, it's kind of like a way to express feeling. Spanish people are very emotional. Hispanic people in general are very, very emotional. So flamenco is a great way for us to express ourselves in this sense. So, can someone tell me if they would join a tomatina, or they would join or run with the bulls? Does someone dare to run with the bulls here? You think you're capable of it? You don't think so? Okay. All All right. Now, this is also pretty important. Spain is full of beautiful sites. We have La Sagrada Familia, which I'm sure you guys know is in Barcelona, even those who haven't been there. And it's a church still being built 140 years after it started being constructed. And the reason why is because they lost the guidelines, I guess, the structure on how to build it. So they have to, with intelligence and with artificial intelligence and with technology, figure out a way on how they can finish it and how they can get everything done. Now, in my city, Granada, you can find the Alhambra, which is, this is one part of it. These sites are very famous in my region, and it feels like a dream. It's full of mosaics, and it's impregnated in southern. It's impregnated with southern hints, so to say. Now, in the south, you're going to find white villages, very frequently, with narrow streets, flower-filled balconies, and mountains in the background. It's a very, very diverse landscape. Now, life happens outside, as I told you before. People meet in plazas, they drink coffee on terraces, they spend time walking together, talking, relaxing. Daily life in Spain is very, very much slower than in other countries. You have to be very, very used to changing paces to be used to going to a Hispanic country, particularly Spain. There's time to enjoy the little things too. So good sun, good food, and wonderful friends, of course. There's always going to be someone revolving around you in Spain. You're always going to be with someone. It's impossible for you to be alone. Now, people take time for lunch. They rest in the afternoon. That's based on farmers, and because Spain is a very, very hot country. So during 3 p.m. to 5 to 6 p.m., it's a very, very hot weather. So people really couldn't work, the farmers. And so they came up with an idea, which is kind of like it's called the siesta. Everyone here knows the siesta. So, yeah, as I said, especially in home areas, this siesta is paramount, although not anymore, it's not that common anymore, sadly. But we also socialize at night. We move our schedule from the day to the night. Now, I don't know if, for those who are planning to go to Spain, if there could be one place to go, which one would you choose? Would you choose the villages in Murcia, Sevilla? I think this is Cádiz or Granada. Put your hand up for number 1. Okay, 2. All right, 3. Okay, 4. All right. So number 1 wins. Good. So identity. Spanish people are very strong on identity. Hispanics are very strong on identity. We like being ourselves. We like showing who we are. Many people think that Spain is just Spanish language, but it's more complicated than that. It has 4 co-official languages, Spain. It has Castilian, which is the Spanish that we all know. There's Catalan, there's Basque, there's Galician. They're from different regions. I don't want to get too much into detail because then it really is going to get boring. But yeah, you just have to know that Castilian is spoken everywhere. Catalan is spoken in Barcelona and Catalonia. Basque is spoken in the north, close to France. And then Galician is spoken in the northwest. Each region has its own identity, its own food, and even its own flags, and they're very prideful. There's been even movements, for example, Catalonia, that they wanted to get independence from Spain. That's how strong identity is. That's like if a new Taipei city felt like a different country, and then Taipei city didn't want that. It's a whole mess. So this makes, of course, Spain very diverse. and also very politically complex. Everyone is fighting about politics in Spain. If you see this, if you see a discussion, it's probably going to be about politics. But yeah, once again, most people feel both proud of their local and their national language. So let's move to something that isn't too much about Spain, but also involves it, and I think it's a pretty important subject. Oh, no, never mind. I'm going to do a small incision here. I'm going to talk about travel hacks because I'm, as I said, a tourism major. And I want to give you three advice, which is, one, don't trust the big signs that you see in Barcelona and Madrid that say, oh, paella, Spanish food, and then a big Spanish flag in the middle, because that's a tourist trap, and you're gonna probably get some mediocre food with some pretty high prices. Second, it's be careful in big cities. Sadly, nowadays it's a bit dangerous, and so you have to watch yourself, watch your pockets, watch your overall health, safety. Don't go out at night to the sketchy places. So, and then finally, of course, if you ever want to go, if you really want to go to Spain, then ask me for more advice, and then I'll be happy to help you. Now, really coming to what is a bit more boring subject of my presentation is the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Let's look at Spain, how they react to this. So the ones I've chosen is number 7, clean energy. Yeah, affordable clean energy. We have to know about this, that over 50% of Spain's electricity comes from wind and solar. The country is closing coal plants and pushing renewables fast, which is a great move towards sustainability and a new future in terms of energy. Number 13 is climate action. Spain is trying to reduce emissions, protect forests, and improve the water use, because water is very, very scarce in my country, especially in my region. And so droughts are very, very, very common. So we have to find a way to maintain and also maintain a healthy influx of water for the drought seasons. Number 15, goal 15 is life on land. Spain is very rich in biodiversity. It's actually the most biodiverse or most diverse in terms of nature country in Europe, with national parks and unique wildlife. It's the second country in the world with the most UNESCO sites. It leads protecting endangered species, but the certification, so land turning into desert, and forest fires are serious threats, especially in the summer, because it's very, very arid. It's a very arid place. So a fire can turn out from nothing. Now, number 4 is quality education. It's very important in Spain. We also consider education as part of not only as in academically, but also in the sense of family. In the family, there's a lot of education about values and stuff. Although it's slowly decaying, but sadly, luckily we still have it. Public education is free through university. That's one key element about Spain. But there are strengths initially in access, and there's weaknesses. But also problems like high youth unemployment, high unemployment, and other economical disasters in Spain are affecting its potential as a potentially world power, to say in a way. And regional gaps are also interesting, because my region is the poorest region in Spain, and so there's a big fight against all the regions for who gets what and who gets the most and who gets the least. As well as overloaded classrooms. There's not enough classrooms for all of them. Now, if you want to share, because maybe you guys are afraid of doing so, what do you think Spain, after me telling you a little bit about Spain do you think is most capable of achieving? Does anyone want to share? What do you think Spain is most capable of achieving? I'm putting my money on. I would say 15. I think 15 is the most, how can I say in English? Promising goal, which is biodiversity. That's what makes us great. That's what makes us special. But I still want to give some critical view, because I think it's important. I cannot only talk about the SDGs and talk nicely about them. I think it's important for me to really tell my opinion on the subject, which is Spain is focusing on electric vehicles and clean energy, which sounds great. Don't get me wrong, it sounds great, but EVs need lithium, they need cobalt, they need rare metals, which are often mined in poor countries in a very harmful way, with no protocols and with no safety measures. So electric cars are not 100% clean. So also replacing every car with an electric one means you would have to build a huge network of chargers and changing electricity grids, and this takes time and money. Now here's something to think about. Spain wants to shut down all nuclear power plants by 2035. But nuclear energy is low carbon and produces a lot of energy without pollution. Waste is a concern, but just around 0.2% of the waste per volume, or that's what I've heard. Correct me if you're more knowledgeable than me in this. Is high. How's it called? Highly dangerous. So, but yeah, waste is a concern, but modern solutions are possible, like deep storage and sinking those nuclear wastes in water. So now here's maybe Spain should keep nuclear for now. I personally think nuclear could be a solution for Spain's potential energy problems, while improving solar and wind at the same time. That way we avoid blackouts or over-relying in batteries, which is, once again, very polluting. So, I don't know, people here, just what do you think about nuclear power? Are you in favor of nuclear power? If you're in favor of nuclear power, put your hand up. Do you think nuclear power is a sustainable way of maintaining the energy? Okay, alright. Okay. Now, I want to give my final thoughts. And to finish up, Spain is really a country that mixes old and new, tradition and change. You can explore castles, eat paella by the beach, dance all night and talk with people who really like life. It's a country that's trying to improve since always. It's kind of been a bit behind the European countries, but that's because of our way of life, because we don't consider our life to depend on work. We live our life, we don't work for our life. So it's working on energy, education, equality, and environment. It's not perfect. It's not perfect at all, but it's open and expressive and it's very passionate. We're really passionate. So I hope one day soon you get to discover Spain. I don't know if I did a good job. I hope I did, but I really wish you go to Spain and experience the flavors, the culture, the sounds, the smells. It's like no other. Not just the tourist spots, because sure they might be nice, but there's many other places that are not popular that really could impress you. So the local experiences, the people, and the rhythm of Spanish life is something I really want you to experience if you're lucky enough. Now, if you could hop into a plane to Spain, just tell me one city you think you would like to see. Is there any city? Sevilla. Sevilla is very beautiful. There's a lot of cultural stuff there. But I have to tell you that you have to be careful. Don't go there in August because you're gonna evaporate. It's so hot you're gonna evaporate. What else? Other places. Granada, Córdoba. Santiago de Compostela. That's a good choice. That's for very, very culture-looking tourists and individuals. All right. Any other city? If not, I'm gonna finish right here. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you can travel to Spain soon.